Ambassador Kim adjusted her formal blue uniform as she waited for the shuttle to dock with the Galactic Council station. After 20 years of talks, Earth had finally been invited to join the great community of spacefaring races. Today would be the first official meeting with all council members present. "Everything is ready, Ambassador," said Lee, her young assistant. He handed her a tablet with her prepared remarks. "The speech has been translated into all 15 council languages." Kim nodded, but her attention was on the large carrier at her feet. Inside, a pair of yellow eyes watched her from the darkness. "I still don't understand why you brought your cat," Lee whispered. "Pets aren't mentioned in the diplomatic guidelines, but what choice did I have?" Kim sighed. "My regular pet sitter called this morning with a fever. I couldn't leave Mr. Whiskers alone for 3 days." The massive Maine Coon cat meowed loudly, as if understanding they were talking about him. At 22 pounds of muscle and fur, Mr. Whiskers was impressive even by Earth cat standards. "He'll stay in my quarters," Kim promised. "No one will even know he's here." The shuttle docked with a gentle bump. Kim took a deep breath and picked up the carrier. This was the moment she had worked toward her entire career. Nothing would go wrong. The welcoming committee waited in the arrival bay. 3 different alien species stood in formal arrangements. On the left were the Kadu, tall beings with 4 arms and smooth blue skin. In the center stood the Tailor, who looked almost human except for their silver eyes and the ridge of small horns on their foreheads. To the right were the Vesperians, short amphibian-like creatures with wide-set eyes. "Welcome, Earth representatives," said the Tailor in the center, Councillor Park. "We are honored by your presence." His translator collar converted his musical language into perfect English. Kim bowed slightly. "The honor is ours, Counselor. Earth has waited long for this day." Mr. Whiskers chose that moment to shift position, causing the carrier to swing in Kim's hand. The movement caught the attention of the Vesperian delegate, whose eyes widened dramatically. "What is that container?" the Vesperian asked, taking a step back. "Just my personal effects," Kim said quickly. "Nothing important," Mr. Whiskers meowed again. Louder this time. All 3 alien species froze. The Kadu's 4 arms raised in defensive positions. The Tailor's silver eyes grew wide. The Vesperians began to emit a strange clicking sound that their translators didn't convert. "Is that a creature?" Park asked, his voice higher than before. "It's just my pet," Kim explained, trying to sound casual. "A domesticated Earth animal called a cat. He's completely harmless." "You brought a predator aboard the station?" The Kadu representative gasped. Kim was confused. "He's not a predator. Well, technically cats are carnivores, but Mr. Whiskers just eats prepared food from packages." "It has fangs? Claws?" the Vesperian asked, now backed against the wall. "Well, yes, but—" "Ambassador," Lee whispered urgently, "I think we've made a mistake." The realization dawned on Kim. Most spacefaring species had evolved from herbivores or omnivores with strong herd instincts. Looking at the council representatives, she now noticed their wide-set eyes, their quick movements, their constant awareness of escape routes, all characteristics of prey animals. They had no concept of keeping predators as companions. "I assure you Mr. Whiskers is completely tame," Kim said carefully. "Humans have kept cats as companions for thousands of years." The aliens exchanged looks of horror. "You tamed predators?" Park asked. "We live with them? In our homes?" the Kadu added, sounding faint. Kim nodded slowly. "Cats, dogs, birds, fish. Many Earth homes have animal companions." The translator couldn't quite capture the sound the Vesperians made, but it seemed like a whimper. "I'll keep him secured in my quarters at all times," Kim promised. "You won't even know he's here." As if to contradict her, Mr. Whiskers let out his loudest meow yet, followed by scratching at the carrier door. The Vesperians released a cloud of defensive musk. The Kadu's skin turned from blue to pale gray. Park, the Tailor, managed to maintain his composure, though his hands trembled. "Perhaps," Park said carefully, "we should move directly to your quarters, Ambassador." As they walked through the station, corridors, alien crew members pressed themselves against walls to stay far from the carrier. News traveled quickly. The humans had brought a predator to the council station. In her quarters, Kim released Mr. Whiskers, who immediately began exploring his new surroundings. "This is a diplomatic disaster," Lee groaned, watching the cat jump onto a shelf. "Or an opportunity," Kim said thoughtfully. "We've just learned something important about galactic psychology." Mr. Whiskers yawned, showing his sharp teeth, then curled up for a nap, completely unaware that his very existence had just changed interstellar relations forever. The council chamber hummed with quiet voices as Ambassador Kim prepared for her first official address. She stood at the podium adjusting the microphone while nearly 200 alien delegates settled into their seats. This was her moment to establish humanity's place in the galactic community. "Distinguished representatives," she began. "On behalf of Earth, I extend our gratitude for welcoming us into the Galactic Council." Meanwhile, 6 levels below in Kim's quarters, Mr. Whiskers had grown bored. The large Maine Coon cat had explored every corner of the room, batted at every loose object, and now sat staring at the ventilation panel near the floor. A small gap showed between the panel and the wall, just enough to catch his interest. Mr. Whiskers pawed at the gap. The panel moved slightly. The cat purred with satisfaction and pushed harder. With a soft click, the panel came loose. Back in the council chamber, Kim continued her speech. "Humans look forward to sharing our culture, technology, and resources with all species," she said. "We believe that diversity strengthens us all." Councillor Park nodded approvingly from his seat at the head table. Perhaps humans would integrate smoothly after all, despite their strange habit of keeping predators as companions. Inside the ventilation shaft, Mr. Whiskers crawled forward, whiskers twitching with excitement. The metal tunnel formed a perfect playground, dark and closed and full of interesting smells. He followed the air current, moving silently through the station's inner workings. "Earth has much to offer," Kim continued, unaware of her pet's adventure. "Our agricultural techniques could benefit worlds with limited arable land. Our medical advances." Her words were cut short by a commotion near the chamber's side entrance. Heads turned as a small door slid open automatically. For a moment, nothing happened. Then a furry head poked out, yellow eyes scanning the room. With predatory precision, Mr. Whiskers stepped into the council chamber, tail held high. "What is that?" shrieked Ambassador Han of the Jackson as he spotted the cat. His 4 insect-like legs propelled him upward in panic. He landed on a decorative light fixture hanging from the ceiling. The Vesperians began releasing defensive musk, filling the air with a sharp odor. The entire Taylor delegation pushed their chairs back from the tables, silver eyes wide with instinctive fear. "Emergency!" someone shouted. "Predator in the chamber!" Kim's face drained of color. "No, wait, that's just my—" The station's AI interpreted the commotion as a threat. "Security alert. Chamber lockdown initiated for delegate safety." Heavy doors slammed shut. Red warning lights flashed. Nearly 200 delegates from across the galaxy found themselves trapped in a room with Earth's most feared diplomatic weapon, a house cat. Mr. Whiskers, unaware of the chaos he had caused, calmly sat down in the middle of the floor and began grooming his paw. "Everyone please remain calm," Kim called out, trying to regain control. "This is my pet cat. He is completely harmless." "Harmless, Ma?" cried Counselor Na from the Pellerin Collective. "It has razor claws and knife-like teeth. Those are killing tools." Mr. Whiskers looked up at the noise, then stood and stretched, showing his full 22-inch length from nose to tail. Several delegates gasped. "The creature is displaying hunting behavior," whispered a Kadu representative loudly. The cat, drawn to movement, began padding toward the Kadu section. Delegates scrambled away. "Lee," Kim called to her assistant, "help me catch him before this gets worse." Lee nodded and slowly moved around the edge of the room, trying to approach Mr. Whiskers from behind. The cat, sensing the game, darted under a table. "Station security, override lockdown," Kim commanded. "Unable to comply," replied the AI. "Threat assessment protocol requires containment of all unknown biological entities." Mr. Whiskers emerged from under the table directly in front of the Vesperian delegation. Ambassador Pax screamed, releasing another cloud of defensive musk. The cat sneezed, then jumped onto the table, sending data tablets flying. "It's attacking our technology now," shouted someone. Kim moved forward, hands outstretched. "Mr. Whiskers, come here right now." The cat looked at her, tail twitching. For a moment, it seemed he might obey. Then he spotted the Taylor delegation's ceremonial feather decorations and took off running again. "You named this predator?" asked Counselor Park in disbelief. "You keep it as a companion. All humans do," Lee explained, still trying to corner the cat. "We have domesticated many predator species over thousands of years." The council chamber fell silent, except for the sound of Mr. Whiskers batting at a feather he had captured. Every alien eye stared at the humans in horror. "You tame killers?" asked Ambassador Han, still clinging to the light fixture. "And bring them into your homes?" Kim nodded slowly, finally understanding the depth of the cultural disconnect. "We do. Cats, dogs, birds of prey. It's normal on Earth." Mr. Whiskers chose that moment to yawn widely, displaying his full set of sharp teeth. Several delegates fainted. The emergency council session began 6 hours after the Predator incident. Ambassador Kim sat alone at the human delegation table. The other delegates had insisted on protective barriers between their sections and hers. "This special session will address the security breach," announced Counselor Park, his silver eyes still showing traces of fear. "Ambassador Kim has been summoned to explain the presence of a dangerous predator on the station." Kim stood, trying to appear calm despite her racing heart. "Thank you, Counselor. First, I must apologize for the disruption. Mr. Whiskers is currently secured in my quarters with reinforced barriers." "You call this creature Mr. Whiskers?" asked Ambassador Han of the Jackson, his voice rising. "You give cute names to killing machines?" "He is not a killing machine," Kim insisted. "He's a domesticated house cat. On Earth, millions of families keep cats as companions." Murmurs of disbelief rippled through the chamber. Counselor Park activated a display screen. "We have analyzed footage of the incident. Security Chief Choi will present the findings." A tall Talar officer stepped forward. "The creature shows clear predatory features," he began. "Retractable claws for silent approach, forward-facing eyes for precise targeting, specialized teeth for tearing flesh." The screen showed Mr. Whiskers jumping onto a table during yesterday's chaos. Several delegates flinched. "Most concerning," continued Choi, "is this." He played a clip of Mr. Whiskers batting at a small red dot on the floor, the laser pointer Lee had been using to try to lure him into his carrier after the incident. "The animal possesses advanced targeting systems," Choi declared. "It tracks invisible energy patterns with remarkable accuracy." "That's a toy," Kim protested. "It's just a laser pointer. Earth children play with them." "Your children train with targeting systems?" gasped Ambassador Na of the Pelleran Collective. "No, it's not." Kim stopped, realizing how difficult this explanation would be. "It's just a simple light. Cats enjoy chasing moving objects." "We have also recorded this disturbing phenomenon," Choi continued, playing another clip. In this one, Mr. Whiskers sat on a Kadu delegate's abandoned chair, purring loudly as his tail swished back and forth. The creature emits a hypnotic sound pattern while signaling its attack readiness with tail movements, Choi explained. Several delegates reported feeling strangely calm before catching themselves. "That's purring," Kim exclaimed. "It means he's happy and content." "Happy to hunt us," muttered Han Lee, who had been quiet until now, stood beside Kim. "If I may address the council?" he asked politely. Park nodded reluctantly. "There seems to be a fundamental misunderstanding," Lee began. "On Earth, humans have lived alongside domesticated animals for thousands of years. Cats originally helped us by hunting small pests like mice and rats. In return, we provided them with food and shelter." "You formed an alliance with predators?" asked a Vesperian delegate, her translator struggling with the concept. "In a way, yes," Lee confirmed. "Over many generations, these animals became gentler, more social. They don't need to hunt for food anymore. They stay with us by choice. By choice? Park repeated. You're saying these predators choose not to hunt you? Exactly, Kim said. Mr. Whiskers sees me as his family, not as prey. The council chamber grew quiet as the delegates tried to process this information. We have further evidence, Choi announced, breaking the silence. Reports from across the station indicate that news of this pet has caused widespread fear. 3 species have threatened to withdraw from trade agreements with Earth. Kim's heart sank. Everything was falling apart because of one fluffy cat. Clearly, continued Choi, humans brought this creature as an intimidation tactic, a biological weapon disguised as an innocent companion. That's ridiculous, Kim protested. Why would we do that? To demonstrate your species' dominance, suggested Ambassador Song of the Tailor. To show that you can control what the rest of us fear. No, Kim said firmly. We brought Mr. Whiskers because he's part of our family. Nothing more. Family, repeated Park, his silver eyes widening. You consider predators family? Yes, Kim said simply. On Earth, many humans form deep emotional bonds with animals. We care for them. We mourn when they die. Some cultures even believe that animals have spirits or souls just like people. This revelation seemed to shock the council more than anything else. The idea of emotional bonds with predators was completely alien to them. I propose, said Ambassador Han, his voice shaking slightly, that all Earth animals be banned from council space as biological weapons. Kim opened her mouth to protest, but the sound of the chamber doors opening interrupted her. All heads turned to see who would dare disrupt a closed emergency session. The council chamber fell silent as the doors opened. A tall figure entered slowly, moving with dignified purpose. It was Councillor Kang of the Marvakian Empire, one of the oldest and most respected members of the Galactic Council. Unlike most council species, the Marvakians did not show fear at the sight of Ambassador Kim. Their blue-gray skin and sharp teeth hinted at their own predatory evolution. Few knew much about their homeworld as Marvakians kept largely to themselves. I apologize for interrupting, said Kang, his deep voice filling the chamber. But this discussion concerns all species, including mine. Councillor Park nodded respectfully. The council welcomes your input, Councillor Kang. Kang walked to the center of the chamber. I have reviewed the security footage of this Earth creature. I have also studied the Earth database provided during their application to join us. Ambassador Kim exchanged hopeful glances with Lee. The Marvakians were notoriously neutral in council matters. Perhaps they would provide a more balanced view. I recognize this creature's behaviors, Kang continued. They are not those of an active hunter seeking prey. They are the recreational behaviors of a species that no longer needs to hunt for survival. Recreational? Asked Ambassador Han from his elevated seat. Predators don't play. They kill. That is where you are mistaken, Kang replied. On worlds where predators evolved alongside their prey for millions of years, complex behaviors developed. What you see as threatening is often practice for young predators or, in domesticated species, the shadow of hunting instincts without the drive to kill. Kim nodded eagerly. That's exactly right. Cats still chase and pounce, but they rarely kill unless hungry, and pet cats are well fed. Kang turned to the other delegates. The Marvakian homeworld has both predator and prey species. We understand both perspectives. The human practice of domestication is unusual but not threatening. They have guided the evolution of these animals over thousands of years to create companions. How can we be sure this isn't some human trick? Asked Ambassador Song, still suspicious. I propose a demonstration, said Kang. If Ambassador Kim agrees, I would like to meet this Mr. Whiskers under controlled conditions. Kim hesitated. I'm not sure that's a good idea. He's been stressed by all this commotion. I understand your concern, Kang replied. But seeing is often more convincing than hearing. After some discussion, the council agreed to a controlled meeting in a smaller chamber. Security barriers were set up, giving nervous delegates a quick escape route if needed. Mr. Whiskers was brought in his carrier by Lee. Remember, Kim told the watching delegates, move slowly and speak softly. No sudden movements. Lee opened the carrier door. For a moment, Mr. Whiskers stayed inside, yellow eyes scanning the unfamiliar room. Then, tail high, he stepped out and stretched. Several delegates gasped. The cat looked around curiously, then began grooming his paw. "This is normal behavior," explained Kim. "He's making himself comfortable in a new environment." Counselor Kang approached slowly and crouched down. "May I?" he asked Kim. She nodded. "Hold out your hand first, so he can smell you." Kang extended his blue-gray hand. Mr. Whiskers paused his grooming to sniff the unfamiliar scent, then butted his head against Kang's fingers. "He's requesting attention," Kim explained. "You can gently scratch behind his ears." Kang did so, and Mr. Whiskers began to purr loudly. The sound made several delegates jump, but Kang remained calm. "The vibration is a sign of contentment," he told the others, "not aggression." From the back of the room, a young Pelleran diplomat named Nari moved forward hesitantly. "May I try?" she asked, her voice barely audible. Kim nodded encouragingly. "Of course." With trembling hands, Nari knelt beside Kang. Mr. Whiskers, always drawn to new people, walked over to investigate. Nari froze as the cat sniffed her legs. "It's okay," Kim assured her. "He's just getting to know you." To everyone's surprise, Mr. Whiskers flopped onto his side next to Nari, exposing his belly. "What is it doing?" she whispered, afraid to move. "He's showing trust," Kim explained. "That's a vulnerable position for a cat." Cautiously, Nari extended one finger and touched Mr. Whiskers' fur. "It's so soft," she marveled. The cat began purring again, louder than before. Nari's eyes widened as she felt the vibration. "It feels pleasant," she admitted. Like a small engine, other brave delegates gradually approached. Mr. Whiskers, enjoying all the attention, moved from person to person, accepting gentle pats and scratches. "I don't understand," said Ambassador Song, watching from a safe distance. "Why would predators allow this handling? What do they gain?" "Companionship," answered Kim simply. "On Earth, we believe that animals can form emotional bonds, just like people. They enjoy affection and attention." "Fascinating," murmured Counselor Park, who had finally gathered enough courage to touch Mr. Whiskers' back. "I never imagined predators could be gentle." Kang nodded wisely. "Perhaps we have all been limited by our evolutionary perspectives. The humans see beyond the ancient divisions of predator and prey. They find connection instead of fear." As more delegates gathered around the purring cat, Kim realized something important was happening. This wasn't just about Mr. Whiskers anymore. It was about humans' unique place in the galaxy, not as conquerors or victims, but as bridges between worlds that had never understood each other. 1 week after the Predator incident, Ambassador Kim stood before the full Galactic Council again. This time, the atmosphere felt different. The emergency barriers had been removed. Some delegates even smiled at her as she prepared to speak. "The Council recognizes Ambassador Kim of Earth," announced Counselor Park. His silver eyes no longer showed fear when he looked at her. "Thank you, Counselor," Kim said. "Before I begin my address on Earth's agricultural trade proposals, I wish to express my gratitude for how the Council has handled our recent misunderstanding." Soft laughter rippled through the chamber. What had begun as a diplomatic disaster had transformed into something unexpected. The new protocols for companion species drafted by the Interspecies Relations Committee are both practical and fair, Kim continued. Earth fully supports these guidelines. The new rules were simple. Earth visitors must register any animal companions before bringing them to Council space. Animals needed special identification tags and had to stay in designated areas. Special introduction sessions would be arranged for curious delegates who wanted to learn about Earth pets safely. "Excellent," said Counselor Park. "We are pleased to announce that these protocols have been approved unanimously. This was a remarkable achievement. The Galactic Council rarely agreed on anything unanimously." After the meeting, Kim returned to her quarters where Lee was feeding Mr. Whiskers. The cat now wore a small blue collar with a council security chip embedded in it. It was the first of its kind, officially designating him as a non-threatening companion predator. "How did the vote go?" Lee asked. "Better than we could have hoped," Kim replied, smiling as she watched Mr. Whiskers eat. "The council is actually interested in learning more about Earth's relationship with animals." It was true. After the controlled meeting with Mr. Whiskers, many delegates had privately approached Kim with questions. How had humans first domesticated wild animals? What other species did they keep as companions? Did the animals truly form emotional bonds with humans? A soft chime announced a visitor at the door. Kim opened it to find Nari, the young Pellerin diplomat who had been one of the first to touch Mr. Whiskers. "Ambassador Kim," Nari said with a formal bow, "I hope I'm not disturbing you." "Not at all." Kim welcomed her inside. "What can I do for you?" Nari seemed nervous, fidgeting with the edges of her ceremonial robes. "I have been authorized by the Pellerin Collective to make an unusual request." Mr. Whiskers, recognizing his new friend, trotted over and rubbed against Nari's legs. She no longer flinched at his touch. "The Collective's scientists wish to study the relationship between humans and their companion species," Nari explained, bending down to gently stroke the cat's head. "We believe this unique perspective could help us understand other species better." "Of course," Kim said. "We'd be happy to share our knowledge." Nari hesitated, then continued. "There is another matter. Several council members, myself included, have developed a fondness for Mr. Whiskers. We wonder if Earth might consider a cultural exchange program involving companion animals." Kim tried not to laugh at the formal way Nari was asking if she could get a cat of her own. "I think that could be arranged," she said. "Earth has many cats seeking homes." The news spread quickly through the council. Within days, the Earth delegation received dozens of similar requests. Even Ambassador Han, who had first proposed banning Earth animals as weapons, quietly inquired about smaller, less intimidating companion species. He was particularly interested in hamsters. 2 months later, the first official companion species cultural exchange program launched. 20 Earth cats, selected for their gentle temperaments, arrived at the council station with trained handlers. The waiting list to participate in the program was longer than anyone had expected. Most surprising was the message Kim received from Counselor Kang of the Marvakians. Their normally secretive species had sent a formal invitation for Earth scientists to visit their homeworld. "We believe," the message read, "that Earth's unique evolutionary history as both predator and prey gives humans special insight into galactic cooperation." In her private journal that night, Kim wrote, "Who would have thought that our greatest diplomatic achievement would come not from our technology or resources, but from a fluffy cat? Mr. Whiskers has done more for interspecies relations than 100 ambassadors could have." The cat in question was curled up on her bed, purring contentedly. Tomorrow he would attend another cultural exchange session with curious delegates. He seemed to enjoy the attention. Kim's communication device beeped with an incoming message. It was from Earth's Department of Interstellar Relations. "Ambassador Kim, intelligence reports that 3 previously hostile species have requested peace talks after viewing footage of council members interacting with Earth cats. Whatever you're doing, keep it up." Kim looked at Mr. Whiskers, now stretched out on his back, paws twitching as he dreamed of chasing mice or laser pointers. "Good job, Ambassador Whiskers," she whispered, scratching behind his ears. The cat purred, louder, completely unaware that he had changed the course of galactic politics forever. Not through fear, but through the simple power of friendship between different worlds.